Run, river, run, run through the hills. Run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your place beneath the sun. Run, river, run over me.
This is Jan Lewis. Welcome to be my guest. We have today from Grafton, we have Bonnie Frederico. Bonnie is an artist and an instructor, and she's going to tell you about some really fun things that she teaches in art right over next door here in Grafton. Welcome, Bonnie.
Thank you for inviting me.
You're very welcome. Now, I saw the article about Bonnie in the Blackstone Valley Express, another one of our really cool newspapers. You teach, well, first of all, when did you start doing your teaching?
Well, let's see. My children were really young. I started taking lessons. I had taken art in college.
Where did you go to school?
I went to Anna Maria College.
Okay.
So studied to be a math teacher and then took a lot of art courses while I was studying.
That's quite a combo.
Well, it is quite a combo.
Yeah.
But, it's worked out really well as I've taught because the way I started teaching, I would teach it almost like a geometric progression. You'd learn A to B to C to D, and it helped the students that thought they had no talent how to learn.
Yeah.
So they didn't have to jump right in. It was just a little piece at a time, and we'd build on what we knew, and it worked out great.
Did you know in high school that you wanted to do the math and the art?
I wanted to be a fashion designer.
Oh.
That's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But I was never trained. I never got the chance to study art. Really, in high school, I took a couple classes, but I just didn't get that chance, and I was
Not too late.
Well, no, never too late.
No.
And it all worked out. It just happened as my kids were little. I started taking more painting lessons, studying more, and then people started asking me, could I teach them? And then I studied more, and the ball just snowballed. Teach, learn, and
When did you open your classes?
oh God, it must have been probably 70s.
Jeez,
Yeah.
you had to have been a kid.
I was
Yeah,
a kid
you
because
really-
I was teaching high school when I was 21, so I was a kid.
It boggles my mind. You were good in both math and art. Usually, it's like with me; those two don't go together.
Well, it's funny though. A lot of people that I've run into along the way, they are good in both. And when I took one of those tests, that's the way I turned out. Good
I
in
didn't.
both.
Remember we took the SAT for college.
Oh God, yes.
I skidded through on the luck with the math. Did okay with the verbal, whatever.
Oh yeah, well, but
Yeah.
see, there was my downfall. I wasn't good in writing and English.
See, that was my high one.
No, so I was bad in that. So math was the only way to go. And luckily, I was at a school that had a lot of art classes, so I got to do both.
How do you find that ties in with math and art together? How does that help?
Well, it did help me, like I say, in being able to teach in a very logical manner. Now I'll have to say the side of my math brain has kind of just died.
That's okay.
It is okay because
You're still a beautiful artist. Wait till you see
Right.
what she's done.
Right. So the outside has completely taken over, and it's all good.
So what are the different now? When I saw in the newspaper that it lists of all the things that she teaches over there, colored pencil art.
Okay.
Now, what do you do on that one?
Should I show you my
Oh,
piece?
sure, definitely.
Okay. Well, I tried to bring a variety.
With that rage on coloring now, oh my God.
Right. So this is a
Can you
colored.
see? If we can get a good picture. Is that colored pencil?
This is colored pencil.
It looked like a painting.
Right. Well, when I started doing colored pencils, it's everything kind of comes into its own. And
Right.
I thought, well, I'm going to start learning some colored pencils. So one lady had given me some lessons,
Sure.
and then I said to my husband, I think I'd like some colored pencils for Christmas. So he said, okay, I'll give you a set. So I was downstairs working on an apple, actually, and I had decided I wanted my apple to look like I was painting with oil. So he came down and he said, I thought you were going to use colored pencils. And I said, I am. And so that's the way I like to do my colored pencils.
Can you zero in on this detail of this? It looks like a painting, and it is colored pencil.
Yes. A lot of different techniques.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Learning how to blend detail work.
So those stems get me. It's like, how did she get it so perfectly?
You have to have a steady hand.
And a lot of patience.
A lot of patience, yes, a lot of patience.
Now, I'm abstract, so I don't know, maybe I could still use it with abstract.
That's true. That's definitely true.
Oh my gosh.
So that was one of my
So you
colored
can learn how to
pencils.
do that.
Yes.
You can
Wouldn't
do
be your first thing, but you could surely aspire to learn how to do that.
It's a lot of shading, a delicate shading.
Yes, a lot of shading, a lot of different values. You layer up the pencils. You might start with one color, add another one on top, because it's not a transparent medium, it's a translucent medium, which means one value shows through the other, and you get these different colors. So like if you put down yellow and then you put down red, you'd have an orange glow, because the pencils would kind of work themselves together.
What do you think is the best? I get so mixed up on these colored pencils. I bought some Prang, I bought some what do you call it, Crayola?
Crayola.
I brought, what's that other one that's really,
Prismacolor.
Prismacolor?
Prismacolor.
What do you think is the best?
They all have different advantages. I use Prismacolor, which is a waxed-based pencil, which
It's
I've done
expensive.
this.
Yeah.
Well, not compared to Lyra-colored pencils, which are oil-based pencils. So there's all different kinds, but the Prismacolor basically...
You like that one?
I like it because it's affordable. That's the one my students use, and once they get using it, it's not for me to switch because then they're not going to switch. So
Can you get that at Michael's and then thing like that?
you can get some of them at Michael's, but you're better off to go to an art store like the Art Emporium in Westboro. He gives all my students a discount.
Mm-hmm.
He carries the whole line. Some of the Michaels, have a very limited supply.
Exactly, and I know out in Worcester there's a
C.C. Lowell's?
C.C. Lowell's.
Right.
They're pretty good selection. If you want to drive out there.
Actually, I don't think they're carrying Prismacolor anymore.
They're not?
They're carrying Lyras, I think.
They used to.
They did used to, but now I think they're carrying Lyras.
What is this beautiful picture beside you? Bring that
this
over and
or
let's
this?
show that. It looks like a barn.
Okay.
Well, let's see the barn. Oh.
Okay, so this happens to be one of my Grafton pictures, where I'm painting a lot of Grafton things. This is the Knowlton's farm in Grafton, okay? I was traveling down. My husband happened to be plowing right after a storm, and,
Oh, your husband plows?
well, only for friends and family.
Okay, doggone it. Okay.
Right. So we happened to be coming down this road. I happened to be with him, and as we were coming down late afternoon, the sun was coming through this barn. I said, "Stop! I've got to take this picture." So I took the picture, and then I thought, I wonder if I can figure out how to paint this. And obviously, then I ended up.
Is it
painting.
acrylic or oil?
This is oils. Yeah, this is oils. So, it was quite a challenge to get the snow right, and you can see all the equipment
Sure.
kind of buried in the snow, and just the
I
way.
love that light effect in the middle.
Yeah, the way the sun was
You got
coming
the
through.
snow perfectly the way it's being hit.
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
love paint pictures that sometimes like photographers or whatever, they'll have a beautiful picture, but I'm like, if you could just put a touch of sunshine,
There you go.
you bring it out.
There you go.
Beautiful picture.
Thank you. So that's kind of what I'm really up to right now, taking a lot of pictures around Grafton and trying to paint them. Some of my students
Yeah.
like to do it, and it just makes me feel good.
What's the next one coming up here?
Well, let's see. This was, I've won quite a few awards with this. This is an oil painting
Oh,
of this bird. And one of my
Oh.
friends gave me the photo. He's a wonderful photographer, and he had given it to me, and I thought, some night I'm going to...
can you see that? That is amazing. Oil painting.
Oil painting.
From
yes.
you looked at a picture and you did the oil.
Right, the oil painting.
I
from the
love
picture.
this. Frame is perfect for
Thank
this.
So this, really, people have come up to it and they've actually thought, I've got to touch that and see if those feathers are real. So it's
What kind of bird is that?
It's a bluebird. Bluebird, yes.
That was my mom. I think the Bluebird of Happiness, when she was
Oh.
pregnant with me, she used to sing the song as the Bluebird of Happiness.
Oh gosh, sounds like my mother. Because the next thing I'm going to paint is probably a cardinal. My mother loved cardinals. And
Yeah, mine too.
another friend of mine, she has taken a picture of a cardinal, and there's a snowflake right on the cheek, and you can see all the 6 hexagon of the beautiful snowflake sitting on the cheek.
We are talking with Bonnie Frederico and just Frederico. And for a second, Bonnie, how can they reach you?
They can reach me either by calling me by 508-839-4550. They could go to my website, www.sewashop.com, or you'll find me on Facebook. So.
How cool is that? Now, the things that you teach are obviously the colored pencils, oil, acrylic?
No, I stopped painting acrylics. You can't do everything, and I used to do a lot of acrylics, but I'm now just sticking with the oils, the watercolor batiks, and the colored pencils.
Show us the watercolor batik.
Okay, this is a watercolor batik. This is a picture I had taken when I was in Ireland, and it's done on a piece of rice paper, a whole different technique. You're painting with watercolors, you're burying it with hot wax, you're ironing off the hot wax, you're crumpling up the paper, you're putting more paint on it, and then you're ironing it, and then you get your finished product. It's really a fun thing to teach, because
Yeah.
when I have a beginner in the class and where you've gotten to the point that they have to roll it up in a ball, and you just watch their eyes and, what's she doing to my painting? And then we spread it out and iron it, and it's just fun. You can't go wrong if you want to learn watercolors. No right or wrong, because
Do you teach watercolor?
I do. This is
Oh,
a
no,
watercolor. Yes.
Okay, how long would it take you personally to do this?
Actually, I'm offering a class, a beginning class, and this in January. It's going to be a one-day class,
Yeah.
9:30 to 3:30,
Oh.
and they will go home with this finished. So,
How
get in
cool
touch
is
with me.
that?
It
I mean,
is.
that is amazing.
It is.
And you have your own classroom in your home.
I do. That's why I'm called the Cellar Shop. I'm in my cellar.
Where
my
are
basement.
you in Grafton?
Right off of the Grafton Common, you'd go down North Street, and I'm on Old Westboro Road. So 1 mile out of the center of Grafton.
Are you heading for the school, the elementary school down there?
On North Street, yes.
Well, that's a shortcut over to Westboro.
Exactly. Yep.
I know where that. I know from the Grafton Common. You
Yep.
get onto North Street and keep going. Okay, Old Westboro Road. Is that where the fork is?
You bear to the right on the fork.
Still head for Westboro. Don't
Yes.
go the other way.
Don't, yeah.
And I thought it continued as North Street. No,
Well, North Street goes straight, but Old Westboro Road veers to the right, and I'm the very first house on the left as you start down that road.
Is it a red house?
No, it's a
No.
natural colored wooden shingle house.
Okay, because I was just trying. Now, when are the classes held?
Well, I'm having, like I say, the petite class is a special class because I'm going to have a break, a 4-week break. So I like to do maybe a couple of special classes. The other classes are held either daytime or nighttime. Day classes 9:30 to 12, and nighttime 7:15 to usually 9:30.
That would be more me. How many people can you have per class?
I don't like more than 7, and you never know. Life happens. Sometimes I only have 4. Sometimes I have 7. Just depends what's happening in people's lives.
Do you have to sign up for X amount, or can you come once, twice?
You have to sign up at least for a month at a time to
For a
make
month.
that kind of a commitment.
Okay, for the commitment for that day or an evening.
Right. Unless you're doing one of my special projects, and then you just sign up for that one particular class.
I think it would be fun for me to do the colored pencils. It would be an evening, but not alone. Probably some other kids too in there.
Yes, some other women are in there, and they get to be good friends,
Yeah.
and it's just a nice social night. They learn something, they go home with something, and they're just happy to be there.
Oh, I think I've been into this coloring thing long before the coloring books.
Right. Well, if you've been into it, you know, those of us that teach, we're hoping that some of people like you are going to go to the next step.
Yeah.
Just like the sip and paint.
Yeah.
You know, they're sipping and they're painting, and they're having a good time.
I'll
But
bet they
hoping-
are.
Yes, we're hoping they're going to come over to us to learn
Oh.
some of the basics and,
Yeah.
some of the
The thing is to get
methodology.
the idea more out. Like, have you approached the Grafton Library and say, hey, I need to give a presentation here?
I actually, in my history, I have done that. I've been there, done
Good.
that. I've done it all.
How about Tatnuck?
No, I haven't gone to Tatnach.
Because it's not just for authors. I don't think you can. I mean, I'm a publicist, so I help people with both.
Actually, I have published a book, and
You did a book?
yes, Fresh and Easy Watercolors for Beginning.
Why haven't
Unfortunately,
I seen this?
well, it's out there, but now it's only on. I think it's on Amazon for like $3.95. So I mean, it's down at the bottom, but it's like been out there 10 years.
Did you get out and talk about it? And
In a few places, I did. Yes, yeah,
That sounds fantastic.
yeah. It was published by Northlight Books, so that was
I know
quite-
about them. Yeah.
That was quite a feat. You know, I had to go
Yeah.
out to Ohio. They set me up. I had to reproduce the whole book. So
I do
it
a
was
lot of
thrill.
authors now, and I help a lot of the authors. Once we get it done, their manuscript, go to Create Space.
Oh,
Best way to go. You can
Really?
choose your cover and everything.
wow.
And then after you get that, then we get them out. I get them out there. I get them scheduled to appear different places.
Oh.
Artists too. But it's a great way to get yourself known.
Well, they did do that for me. I mean, and honestly, I was at these conventions always having my books there to sell. And
What conventions now are you going to?
now I don't really usually go to the national convention. I go to the one over in Marlborough, which, is just a hop, skip, and a jump from my house. So mainly I'm pretty busy doing some other things. So.
What's the name of the Marlboro one?
The Yankee, well, let's see, what do we actually call it? My chapter is the Yankee Heritage Toll chapter, and they're over there mainly putting on it over. It's called the NET Convention, New England Traditions.
Very popular.
Things are going a little bit downhill.
Why is this? Why people are having trouble selling their art in galleries?
Exactly. I don't know why that is. I think because a lot of the people that I've taught and have worked with, they're getting older. It's hard to get those new folks in because they want to sip and paint.
Yeah, they want to
Yes,
booze it up.
they
And
do.
I don't know.
They don't want to commit.
Eh,
But I mean, they don't want to commit, but that's okay. I mean, I still have plenty of people that are happy to paint, but it's hard to get those new women in. They've got the job, they've got the kids.
yeah. I think, like myself,
hard.
there are soon people out there who do take it seriously. I don't care about going there and drinking and everything
Right.
and doing it. I want to listen to you. I want to learn from you. I'm there for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Time is valuable, and if I'm going to go, I'm there because I'm serious about it. It's not just I have a party.
Exactly. And some people only, honestly, have been coming all these years just for the sociability of it, but while they've been there, they've taken it in like osmosis, so they stay,
Yeah.
they learn. We do a lot of different mediums, so there's always something new to learn, and so they keep coming back, which has been good.
So we are talking again with Bonnie Frederico. Bonnie, how can they reach you again?
They can reach me either 508-839-4550, or they could go www.sellashop.com or find me on Facebook, Bonnie Frederico.
You have your teaching from September to May.
Mhm.
You take the summer off.
I do. Well, mainly I do one-day classes during the summer just to keep people, kind of interested.
Is there anything that's the most popular you've noticed through the years of all you teach?
No, I think they all kind of
Okay.
equal. I think people really love to try this watercolor batik. It really piques their interest, and they find that their husbands seem to really like, I don't know whether it's the spontaneity of it,
Yeah.
but the husbands seem to really love it when they come home with these batiks. Sometimes we're doing a big boat.
Yeah.
We've done geese. We do flowers. So lots of different things.
It sounds good. Of course, to me, all of a sudden, my mother said as soon as I could get a pencil in my
Uh-huh.
hand when I was a little baby, little girl, I was sketching, doing. So I always love coloring, but then this thing with the colored pencils, love it.
Yes, yeah. And sometimes when they start, the motion really cramps up their hands, but the more they do, the better they get, and then they don't even think about that anymore.
You know, it's therapeutic at night. You know, sometimes you've had a busy day. It's hard to unwind.
Mhm.
Get on the bed, turn on a talk show on the radio, and I'm good to go.
No
I'm
kidding.
mindless. Just, what a way to relax.
Wow, that's good. Or even like, in my article I say, sometimes I might be down, my kids might be having problems,
Yeah.
bad day. I get down there and I start painting, and it's
Yeah.
like, I'm just happy.
Yeah. When you were little, were you artistic?
Some, but I really wasn't pushed in that direction.
No.
No, it just didn't happen that way, but it was always there.
In your
So-
family? Are you the only one?
No, actually, I have a picture that my grandmother did, which was and I've just come upon it within the last 10 years, because it must have been from my grandmother to one of her daughters, and when
Yeah.
they broke up house, it kind of surfaced, and I've ended up with
Oil?
oil painting, yes,
That's
of
what I-
dogwoods, which is quite ironic.
That's my
Yes.
great-grandmother. Hers were very dark, but beautifully done in oil.
Yes, she really did do a beautiful job, and it was just so nice to see that
Yeah.
she had done that, because I had seen other work she had done, like with shells and
Mhm.
crafty things, but I didn't realize she was a painter until just a few years ago.
It's hard to preserve her work. I mean, one of them is caved in now. It's so
yeah.
old. I don't want to get rid of it, but it's really a mess.
Well, maybe you could take it to one of those restoration places, and they could help you.
You know,
out.
I went to, what's the place that you mentioned in Westboro?
Art Emporium.
Yeah, somebody had sent me, I have a friend out in Australia who had sent me something, I think it was an oil that somebody had done of the lizards, or whatever they are in out that way.
Okay.
I don't know. It was pretty cool. And I said, yeah, sure, I'd love it. She knew what to do with it. And it had, in the mail system, she hadn't packed it right.
Oh dear.
And it got boop. And so I took it over there, and they were able to boop
Oh,
and
wonderful.
fix this picture.
Wow. Wow.
That's,
Yes.
so you've got an age group there that you think is just about, we're trying to get maybe some that are below Gen Xers and Boomers. We'd like to get a little bit lower than
Right.
that.
Someplace in their 50s, their kids have gone off to college.
That's Gen Xer, yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
So they've gone off to college. They have enough money to be able to do this.
Yeah.
They've got the time. They've got the desire. And those are the kind of people that I'm kind of looking for.
Yeah. And yet if you're a senior and you're up there, hey.
Definitely, that's nothing wrong with that. I mean, and I have several of those now because they've been with me forever. And, they're still
Do you ever
a
go
good
to the
help.
senior centers and share your talent?
Actually, I do go to the senior centers, but not to share my talent, because they're doing other things there. They have other people
To
doing
show
things.
them how you do it.
No, because they have other people doing those kind of things.
Yeah, but you're tops, right?
Well, I think so. But
we could definitely, I mean, I know Grafton has a wonderful senior
They do have a wonderful
And
senior
Upton
center.
has one, and I
Yes.
think just about every town.
Right. Well, I've just come from Zumba. I dashed home from Zumba to come down here. So, yes, they have a great senior center.
By the way, what the heck is Zumba?
Oh, it's just dancing in motion and
Just
great
real fast?
Yeah, but to a beat and learning the steps, and it's all a mental thing. Learning the steps, which keeps your brain working.
But do you have to do it like, it took me a year to learn how to do the Macarena. I'm not a group
Oh, well.
person, but you can do it.
Oh yeah,
I have an awful time.
The more you
Even
do it, the better you get.
Learning waltzing, I know that when
Oh.
I went to a waltz class once, the guy said, let me lead, will you? I didn't know, I wanted to more, that's my group, my
But-
generation. I wanted
But it's just like painting. Some of the girls start out and they say, "Oh, I can't do this." You can do it if you have the patience.
Yeah.
I can teach you how to paint.
Do you have music in the background at all?
I don't. Some
Yeah.
of my friends that are teachers do. They like that soft music. I just like it to be quiet. I mean, some of the girls are talking to one another, but no, that's just the way I work.
That's just the way you
If
do it.
I'm working by myself, I might be watching HGTV, but if I'm having class,
Yeah.
there's nothing in the background.
If somebody out there really wants to major in art in school, I know you can't get very far with it. You couldn't. I saw the handwriting on the wall when I was in college.
Oh.
I said, I'm majoring in art history. I thought, I'm going nowhere with this.
Wow.
And that's when I told my father and mother, I'm leaving. And
Yes.
they weren't happy. But I knew that I'm not going anywhere.
Right.
I love art,
Right.
but I needed something more.
Well, that was what my father had said to me. If you're going to college, you've got to do more than that. And that's
Yeah.
how I ended up in the math field. And, I almost went into industry, and thank goodness I didn't. But it all worked out.
It
It
did.
just worked out. So I've been very lucky.
So now, your favorite is oil, for you personally.
Yes, probably. At the moment, but, sometimes it might be colored pencils. But right now it's oils.
So when a person comes to your class, do they have to pay for their own
Materials?
Yeah.
Basically, what I let them do, depending on what they're going to try, let's say they wanted to try an oil project, they have to buy a couple of brushes because nobody uses my brushes, but I give them, like for a $5 fee, the paint for the month. And so they can dabble in it because the paint, a tube of paint, a good tube of paint, is $10 plus,
Right.
depending on the colors. And, and I let them try it and see if they're really interested. And then I sell some supplies, or I send them to Amazon. You can't beat Amazon. I mean,
No.
you can't beat their prices.
No.
So then people will go there and they'll get themselves a kit. And then it's usually just one step at a time.
So if I wanted to take the colored pencil class, would I have to go first and get the Prismacolor? Am I on my own?
Probably you'd come over, we'd talk about what you might like to do, because I have written several packet designs, and I
Yeah.
tell you these are the pencils you need. So let's say you need 10 pencils. I would send you off to the Art Emporium to buy those 10 pencils. Then after you completed that first project and you say, oh, I really like this, I would encourage you to buy the set of Prismacolors unfortunately, on Amazon.
Yeah, it was cheap because it would be real expensive at the store.
Well, which, and I
Yeah.
do send all my students over to the Art Emporium. He
Yeah.
gives them a nice discount. But how can you beat it if it's $130 in the store and $75 on Amazon? You just can't beat it.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, yes. But sometimes my students, when we get started with the colored pencils, they were just buying the pencils for the projects, and they ended up getting quite a whole lot of them, and it just worked out.
So so starting out, go over and get get the little case of it,
Yep,
and then you just bring yourself and your pencils to the class,
right.
and you provide the paper,
Mm-hmm.
and you provide you.
That's exactly right. I tell you step by step how you're going to do it. I show you all the tricks when you need them. I get you going. We practice different things, get you going. You do a little bit, I give you more instruction, and it's a back and forth type of thing.
So in a class, you say you don't like more than 7, which is
Right.
great. So the colored pencil class, about that amount?
About that amount, yeah.
At
Just depends.
nighttime as well as daytime?
Yes, it depends on the day.
Okay.
Yes,
And
definitely.
the oil painting, that's got to be more intricate. You got to wait for it to dry, right?
Well, yes and no. I mean, we paint so much that night, you can only get so much done, and by the time they've come back the next week, it's dry, so we're ready to move on.
So it's a month commitment each way.
Usually, yes. I mean, because
Yeah, you
what's
got it,
what's a
right?
month?
Yeah.
And honestly, if they're starting afresh in anything, I say, if you can't give yourself 6 months to try this, you
Yeah.
got to make an investment, give it a chance. Just give it a chance, yeah.
And so give it a chance. And
Yes.
you're over in Grafton, not far from here at all. It's over
No.
off of North Street.
Yes. off
North Street, and then you just keep going straight, and
Yep.
they're off of that. That's very, very
It's easy to
close
get to.
by.
Yeah, it's easy.
Where's your farthest students coming?
This will make you laugh. Nantucket. Yes, how do you like that?
But they don't
Nantucket.
come over from
Well,
there.
yes, she did, because she lived in Westboro. She
Yeah.
was taking me forever, taking lessons from me forever.
Uh-huh.
And as it happened, her husband retired. They had a place in Nantucket, so they moved to Nantucket. But then they kept calling him back to do some, work,
Right.
and she would make it. So every Thursday morning, she would come back with him. They would fly over.
Mm.
He would go off and do his consulting. She would come to class, and so that's how it happened.
I bet. Do you have any customers? Do you go to Nantucket in the summer?
I
yeah,
have
when
been
was
to
it?
Nantucket.
Yeah.
Yes.
I bet you would have a lot of great artists and
Oh
authors
my
live over
gosh!
there.
Yes,
We
definitely.
have a resident mystery whodunit author. He's in his 80s. He's wonderful. Glenn Eckler. We just had him on. Another whodunit novel he just
No
wrote.
kidding.
Yeah, but they're all about in Minnesota or Martha's Vineyard.
Wow.
And he
Wow.
does every year they have some sort of a big event for authors in Martha's
Mm-hmm.
Vineyard, and he takes part in that. But they do a lot of artsy things over in that area.
Oh gosh, yeah. It's just a beautiful place. I mean, I've taken a lot of pictures there.
Yeah.
I've done some watercolors from the pictures I've taken over there. Just a great place to
Do
go.
you ever do plein air, in open air?
I have done some plein air. Almost brought my plein air. Well, I haven't even showed you this
Oh,
little picture.
what is this one now?
This isn't framed.
Oh,
So.
hold it right up.
So this is just a little picture. Obviously, I had set up, and I'm just standing there painting my little daffodils that came from my garden. And this happens to be my frill blue container. So this week I hope to get this.
It's so
framed up.
delicately done. You don't see the. Sometimes you'll see an oil that isn't professionally done, and you can see too many. I don't know how it doesn't blend as well.
Well, everybody likes different things, though. When you started on the plein air, I have done plein air where you're standing out there and you're just holding your brush, you're looking, you're seeing, and you're painting, and a whole different way of painting, but just
Yeah.
wonderful. A little nerve-wracking for me because I'm used to doing the whole detail thing, but I'm getting better at the plein air. I like it. It's a challenge, and so
Yeah.
I've been doing that some.
So people who don't know what painting in plein air means, because you're open, people could come and stand right behind you.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if that would really do me any good.
Well, honestly, I was up at Tower Hills this past summer taking a class from a lady, and people would come by and they'd look, oh, that looks good. I mean,
Yeah.
to them, what do they know? They think
Yeah.
whatever you're doing is great, and so, it's
Tower,
good.
you've been up to Tower Hill.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Oh, do you go up alone and set up camp?
Actually, this lady that I knew was having a class up there, so she had like 10 of us, and we were all over the place, and she'd check on us, and and then she'd give us some instructions or criticize our
You
work.
went to a class, but
Oh,
you're
God.
the teacher?
If you stop going to classes, you might as well just kiss it goodbye.
Really?
Oh gosh, yes.
I would think you'd be up there teaching.
Well, sometimes maybe, but other places. But up there, I was wanting to learn her plein air techniques, and so
Yeah.
I was taking a class. But that's what I say to my students: take from all different people. You're going to learn different.
She
things.
must have loved your style because you're probably way ahead of a lot of the students over there.
Well, I have really studied color a lot, and a
Yeah.
lot of the people that were in the class maybe were better drawers than myself, but they didn't know much about.
But that
color.
sure doesn't look newbie to me. That looks
Well,
like,
no.
that
this
is
this isn't so much plein air, but my other picture that I had done up there, it was just a beautiful scene.
Yeah.
The sky. She talked about the sky, the back trees, the front trees. It was great.
do you prefer, though, to paint alone, like in your little studio, or you don't mind people standing around you?
No, I don't really. No, I don't mind. I mean, after a while,
Yeah.
when you get older, you just don't mind. Just works
Everyone's
out.
welcome. Again, how can people reach you?
You can reach me at my home, 508-839-4550, or the Seller Shop, www.sellershop.com.
She is, Bonnie Frederico teaches what she knows, and believe me, what an artist here. I remember reading about you, like I've mentioned at the beginning of the show. And so we have got to get this lady on, and they have a picture of a monarch butterfly, a colored pencil one, and that's the one. Is that the one you just showed me?
That's the one I just showed
And that
you.
just hit me. That is
Yes.
no wonder. And I said, hometown pride and beauty blooms in artist studio. Focus on local artists and crafters is the title. A beautiful picture, it doesn't do her justice, but of Bonnie with a big swan.
Yes,
That's your swan. Was that in oil?
that was in oils. And that was hung at Arts Worcester. So
That was in Arts Worcester?
Yeah, that was hung at Arts
Do you
Worcester.
go to that once a year, Arts on the Street? What?
I do not go to that now.
No.
Several of my friends, and even though a lot of people go,
Yeah.
not many people spend money.
I know. Well, they can't afford it. I
Well,
understand.
yeah, I know.
understand. I have to say that I've been to many galleries, and I have to say, I love what I'll say it to the other, I love what you do, but you got to understand that not everybody has 1,100 to burn.
Well, what's
If you
happened?
want to send it online, go for it. But
Actually, I'll just quickly say that this has been hanging at the Grafton Gallery, okay? And
Yeah.
I've had cards made of this. So
Yeah.
people have come and bought the cards,
Yes.
and then they frame the little cards. So it's worked out well.
that is the way to go. I've
Yes.
seen bookmarks.
Yes, exactly.
Cards.
Bookmarks, cards, they put them on mugs,
Postcards.
anything, pocketbooks. Sky's
That's a pretty great
Sky's
idea.
the limit because you have to give that reasonable
Yes.
thing for somebody to buy rather than buying.
And
my
that's how
original.
you'll get known more, too.
Exactly. You get the
Thank
word
you
out.
so much for being on the show,
Thank you for
Bonnie.
having me.
If you want to go to some of her classes, don't be shy. Get in touch with her. We'll
Thank
see you
you.
next time on Be My Guest.